What's going on, guys? Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a fantastic day. How are you all doing? What's going on, everyone? Welcome to a More Patterrz live stream, where we're live on the second channel because this is a secret stream. You can't tell anyone else. Don't let any of those main channel viewers know. We don't want them to know. Hi, guys, doing? Welcome in. Hope you're having a fantastic day so far today. I'm just going to pin the buff emote because I like the buff emote. Boom. Buffers. What's going on, guys? Hello, Pelagus. Hello, Owen. Hello, Cheese. Hello, Boofy. Hello, Dylan. Hello, Prega Uwu. Hello, Connor. What happened to your glasses skull emoji? Nothing. Hello, Tadashi. Hello, Charles. Hello, Mana. Hello, Maki. How you guys doing? Hello, Yona. Yona, that's a cool name. Hi, guys. Welcome. It's so nice when everyone says hi. It's like, oh, there's so many people saying hello. It's so nice. What's going on, everyone? Hello, Zeno. I don't know how to say that, but it's your first stream, so welcome in. How you doing? What's today's reacts? I just have to wait and see. It's a little goofy. Hello, Wiggly. Hello, Kieran. How you guys all doing today? Welcome. It is a wonderful... What day is it today? Saturday? It is a wonderful Saturday out here in the planet Earth. Who knows what day it is anywhere else in the galaxy? We don't. Not that it really matters. Hello from Israel. Hello from the United Kingdom. Stream alert redirected me to the main channel. What? Why would it do that? That's crazy. Am I ripped? I'm not ripped. I want to be, though. I want to be. If I found more skibbity toilet lore, there is a new episode. We can watch the new episode, maybe. Dylan made a new video. He does do that. He does indeed do that. Oh, yeah, it is Sunday. It is Sunday for the Aussies. Sorry, I said it was Saturday for everyone in the world. That's not true. It's actually Sunday for the Aussies right now. So happy Sunday, guys. Hope you're having a good Sunday, even though it just started for you. What are we watching today? Something crazy. Start the video? No. Sorry, I retract my previous statement. There's a lot of Aussies here, clearly. Hello from Morocco? Damn. Morocco? That's a long... Damn, there's people from all over the world. Chat, where are you from in the world? What country are you in? I was watching your reaction to the Pokemon villain cipher. That is a good cipher, though. That's a sick cipher. Cam always kills it with those ciphers. Always, he's so freaking good. Indonesia, the US, of course. I'm expecting mostly US, to be fair. Got India, Finland, Singapore. A lot of USAs. Connecticut is not a country. I don't think it is anyway. Did they seed? Did they secede from the US yet? Sweden, Mozambique. Wow. Germany. East London. That's also not a country. Bulgaria, Peru, China. Damn, there is... You guys are from all over the place. Jeez, you guys are from everywhere. Well, I'm from England. There's so many of yous. Jeez. Philippines, Poland, Australians. Jesus Christ. Are we reacting to the Ghost Stories English dub? I don't know what that is. So, probably not. But what? Wait, why have I heard that name? I've heard that name before. Ghost Stories. Why have I heard that name before? I know I have. I have heard that name before. Why have I heard it? It's a wild dub. Oh, it's the crazy dub. That's right. Oh, no, I do remember that, actually. Yeah, no. I do remember that. It's like, oh, it's completely deranged, isn't it? Yeah, the deranged one. I do remember it. Never mind. I take it back. I remember it 100%. Yeah, I didn't know. Sorry. What is the size of the react? The react is big, as in the title. But also, I wanted to pick your guys' brains because you are very smart on a few things. I mean, we could, you know what? Let's warm ourselves up a little bit. Actually, we'll warm up in a second. I wanted to pick your guys' brains. We'll warm up on the new Skibbity Toilet episode because, dude, I have had that stupid little jingle stuck in my head. My style is ridiculous. It's just all the time. It's been in my head for like 2 days now. It's so dumb. Why is it so popular? Why is it stuck in my head? I hate it. I hate it. I want it to go. I need it to leave. It's so nasty. I haven't seen the first 46. You'll be a bit lost, but I would recommend watching the reaction that we did and uploaded yesterday. Is there anything I need to know? Yes. There is a lot of skibbity toilet lore. And it's just the dumbest thing in the world. But it's also like pretty fun. It's like really fun to watch. It's like weirdly fun to watch. Which is why that's why it has 8 billion views. So I guess that makes sense. I'm not overreacting, like I'm not over exaggerating. It has 8 billion views in the entire channel. So that's kind of crazy. Kaizo Ironmon video is less than 2,000 views away from being the highest viewed Kaizo Ironmon video on the platform, which is really exciting for me. And I hope you guys too. We're so close. If we look at view counts, look at that. We're 2,000 views away. We're so close. We're so close. We're gonna get there. I swear we're gonna get there. Only 2 weeks of the video being up. We can get there, dude. We're 2,000 views away. We're so close. We must defeat Italy. We have to defeat Italy. And we're so very close. Why are you people talking? Do you not want me to speak? Right? Tell me you won't react to Skibidi Toilet again. Well, there's a new episode, so I wanted to take a look at that at the very least, right? I wanted to at least like have a little bit of a look at that. It's doing well. Yeah, it's doing well. I don't think I'm gonna change the thumbnail again. When will you play a Souls game? I'm too bad at video games to play Souls games, especially not on stream. I can't play a Souls game on stream. I'm way too bad at video games to be able to do that. Just Dance Game Theory reaction, already did it. Do Scarlet and Violet? Probably not. Oh, so I wanted to pick your guys' brains a little bit before we dived into the literal toilet of content that we're gonna look at today. I'm almost out of ideas. Not for this channel. There's like infinite things to react to. But for like main channel videos, I did start doing like them we fight style stuff. And I have a couple of ideas that I want to run past you guys. The next video that I want to do with Vinny is a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire video. But obviously, just asking questions is a little sleeper. It's a little boring to just ask questions, so I'm trying to spruce it up. So this is my idea for a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire battle video, okay? You catch a team that adds up to $1 million. Every Pokemon has an amount assigned to it based on how strong it is. Weaker Pokemon are worth more money, stronger Pokemon worth less money. But you can also add money by answering questions correctly that we have for each other. Once you hit 1 million, then you battle. So the idea is if you get questions wrong, you have to catch weaker Pokemon. If you get them right, you have more options to catch stronger Pokemon. That's my idea. Also, I can probably work in like lifelines, like 50-50 or like phone a friend and stuff like that. But that's my basic idea, is we do a catching thing, but we answer questions, and if we answer questions correctly, we can catch stronger Pokemon. That's my basic idea. What do you guys think about that? Can questions be asked by chat? No, it's not live. It's a video. Because chat would answer the question like, how many toes does Ho-Oh have, or something like that. So once we built our team, then we fight with the team that we made. That's my idea. What do you guys think about that? You guys think it's... is it like easy to understand, do you think? Is it easy to understand that we're aiming for $1 million? Catching Pokemon and answering questions both gives you money. If you answer more questions correctly, you can get stronger Pokemon. Is that like easy to understand? Mid? Oh. I do not like? Okay. It's like kind of good though. It's like kind of good. I don't know the TV show. Well, you don't need to know the TV show because I just the TV show is just like answer questions to get to $1 million. That's it. Can you unshadow ban me from your main channel? No. I don't know what you did, but like I don't even know. I don't even know how to unban. Oh, I do know how to unban people actually. I know how to unban people. You can get banned. So you don't get banned. You you hide the person on the channel. So it's not a ban, it's a shadow ban, which means that whenever they type, like it looks like they're typing, but no one will ever see it. It's like a more evil version of an actual ban, where they think that they can still type and they can still be like be annoying, but they can never be seen ever again. So it's like a shadow ban. You don't get told. And that's what happens on like all of YouTube. I guess you can kind of tell if you're shadow banned because you won't appear on like the chat though, right? So you could figure it out eventually. If you're like, you know, had any kind of perception, you could figure that out. So yeah, you just don't get it. Yeah, you just don't get thing. It's a good way to mod chat. I mean, I don't know. I think it's just the same as banning someone, right? They just don't get the satisfaction of knowing. My day's going well, thank you. Also, I'm wondering what I should be streaming on the main YouTube channel right now, because obviously we've been doing Kai's Wireman for a long time. I think it's kind of like winding down on that a little bit because we've been doing it for a long time, not making much we haven't really had many good runs going. So I could pivot into something else. I've been thinking about Radical Red a lot lately because I've been watching Shady play it, and I think Luke started playing it, and Dylan always plays it, and Vinny always plays it. So I've been thinking about Radical Red a lot lately. I'm like, people still say that I didn't beat Radical Red, but I know I beat Radical Red. But what if I didn't beat Radical Red? So now I'm like, oh, do I go back to it? I don't know. I also want to do more like live Then We battles on the main channel as well. Like I want to do one with Vinny. I'll probably do one with Shady again if he wants to, as well. Could do hardcore like Shady was. I don't think Shady is doing hardcore right now though, right? I don't think he's doing hardcore right now. Could do Emerald Rogue. I tried it. I mean, I beat it. I didn't really care about it apart from that though. So maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll go back to it. I was gonna yell at you. Why? Saying you weren't live? No, I am live. What do you mean? When I play Insurgents, it's super old and no one really cares about it anymore. I definitely beat Radical Red. Thank you, Justin. Thank you. I definitely beat Radical Red. True. Facts. Why does Super Chat not work? It does. Chat, someone Super Chat to prove that it works. Why not play Brick Bronze? I don't really care about it. Have you heard about Moon Emerald? Yeah, it seems fine. It seems okay. What about Flux? I don't know what that is. You're not live pre-recorded. If I was pre-recorded, how do I have your live chat up in front of me? Boom. Destroyed. Annihilated. I can't super chat to myself. Look, see? The button isn't there, but everyone else does have the button because you can't super chat to yourself, obviously. That'd be kind of silly. I mean, I don't know why YouTube doesn't allow it because it would just be giving YouTube money. So I totally think that they should be able to do that. Run and Bun? Isn't Run and Bun Pokemon Challenge's game? I think that's Pokemon Challenge's game, right? Hey, Paige! Thank you so much for the 20 Aussie bucks. I am really bad at games. Want to play Xenoverse? Dragon Ball? Oh no, the Pokemon game. I think it's kind of like, that's kind of past its fad section. Damn, that sound effect, that's so cool. Thank you so much. Have I ever thought about giving Cuphead a try? I am so bad at video games, Paige. I don't think I'd be able to play it very well. In fact, not only am I bad at video games, I don't really play many other video games on the channel because I get frustrated when I'm bad at video games. Because I feel like if I'm bad at video games, I'm not doing an entertaining stream. Which is why when I play video games off stream, I don't really care all that much. Like, I'm just like fiddling around. It would not be fun to watch the way I play games off stream. Because I'm like very slow and I'll get distracted by things. So when I play video games on stream, if I'm not good, then I feel frustrated that I'm not being like entertaining. Like when I played Undertale, when I kept dying, I was like, dude, I don't know if I can even finish this game. I don't know if I can do it. And then I got a little sad because I was like, oh, what if I can't even finish this game? And I feel like there's so much pressure as I'm not very good at games off stream. That's why I don't play like really hard stuff like, I don't play like Getting Over It or Only Up or any of those like jump-in games, jump-in simulators. I should play BioShock on stream. BioShock is not a game that you should watch someone play, I don't think. BioShock is a game that you should treat yourself and you should play yourself. I really believe that. Most of the enjoyment from Bioshock, I think, comes from experiencing the world and the story and the atmosphere of the game yourself, not watching someone else do it. Is that why you barely play any games? No, I do. I play games all the time. Dude, I play games constantly. I'm always playing games. I just finished this weird indie game that I forgot the name of it. It was really good, though. Oh, it was called Beacon Hills or something like that. Beacon Hills. Really cute little indie game. Right now I'm playing Divinity 2 Original Sin. It's super good. It's like a CRPG. It's kind of hard too, but I'm getting into it. It's really, really fun. Bioshock's a masterpiece? True. Very true. Play something fun and you enjoy playing. I mean, I will. I just won't stream it. That's my thing. I just don't want to stream it. Tenso! Thank you so much for the 10. Appreciate that. Persona? I could not get into Persona. I mean, I'm sure it's a really, really good game, but I could not get into Persona. Deltarune? I don't really care about Deltarune as much as Undertale. I don't think people care about Deltarune as much as Undertale, really. What's the best Bioshock? First one, easily. Play the first one, please. You deserve it. If you want like just a really, really good experience, just play the first Bioshock. It's so good. So good. Oh, chess. I still, to this day, don't know how to play chess. I'm such an idiot. Is this a react or a Q&A? Why can't it be both, Angry Bird? Why can't I then move the chat and then watch a video? The cool thing about live streaming is that you can do multiple things. I recommend Pokemon Bushido. I've heard of it. It seems interesting. I don't know if I can make a good video of it. Bioshock 2 definitely has the best combat, but Bioshock 1 easily has the best like atmosphere and story. Oh my god. Why is that so loud? Why is that so loud? That is real loud. I am reacting to chat. That is true. Fortnite seems like it's like better now. I would be down to play Fortnite. Thank you, Wiggly. I appreciate that too. Thank you. Why not do Arceus or black or white, but randomize or with a spin? I mean, I've done that like lots of times. I've done black and white randomized so many times. And Arceus is not a game that you really need to play through more than once, honestly. Bioshock 1 is the best game intro of all time. I agree. It has a really good intro. The first like 15 minutes of Bioshock are so good. And obviously the rest of the game is good too, but like the first 15 minutes, it just puts you right into it. I think it's great. I've never played a video game. Suggestions. You've never played a video game? Oh god, Pong? Space Invaders? Overwatch? Okay, that's probably a bad one. Don't play Overwatch. Don't do that. Mario Party, maybe? I don't know. So, something like that. So it's hard. It's hard to recommend something to someone who's never played any video games. I'm like, I don't even know what you would like. Play Roblox? Nah, I don't want to play Roblox. It's not really my thing. Play TF2. TF2 is also a thing you could play. TF2 is a really fun online game. I can't believe TF2 has like 200,000 active players. TF2's community is insane and massive. How to Full Boyfriend? Is that the fucking pigeon game? That's a pigeon dating simulator, isn't it? Left 4 Dead 2 is good too. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate that. Yeah, suggesting a game to someone who's never played a video game is really hard because when you sit down to play a game, you already have all this inherent knowledge of like how to use a controller, how games usually work, you know, how a joystick works, how the intros to game usually works. If you've never played a game before, you have none of that inherent knowledge about how anything works. So like it's a lot harder to dive into something that way, right? Like, if you've never played a video game, then you don't know as soon as the cutscene ends, okay, now you start walking around and picking stuff up. Like, you just don't know that. You've never played it, you just don't know. Yeah, how to control a camera? Like, how to control a camera for someone who hasn't played a game? That's impossible. It's really hard. It's like, oh, I have to do 2 joysticks at the same time? Can I, like, am I allowed to just, like, stop and, like, move around? It's like, it's just really hard stuff, you know? Dragon Ball Z Kakarot new DLC? Never played Kakarot. I don't know, I can't really get into DBZ games that are just the same story over and over again. But I will say I'm really excited for Tenkaichi 4. That I am super excited for that. That's gonna be freaking awesome. Oops, Daisy. That's gonna be freaking amazing. I can't recommend Skyrim for someone who's never played a video game before because Skyrim is really in-depth for its features and its gameplay and things like that. Like, there's a lot that you need to learn about that. Uh-oh. Okay, now we're in the moment where I don't know if YouTube is just like stopping the chat from moving or if no one is typing. I mean, there's people doing hearts, so I assume that the people are still there. But now, see, look at the chat has died. And I'm not really sure if it's because no one... Okay, this is definitely... What if I type a smiley face? Chat, type 1. Oh, error. Oh, it's giving me errors. Okay, well, while YouTube chat is starting to fix itself, why don't we take a look at... I mean, I know I'm still live. It's just like... There's just no chat. There's just no chat. What the hell is this? What's wrong with YouTube, man? Okay, well, let's do the old... What is it? The Skibbity Toilet. New Skibbity Toilet episode. Let's go have a look at that, shall we? All right, Skibbity Toilet, episode 49. I did already watch this. I'm sorry. I did already watch it. All right, here we go. Dude, is this chat still not working? Is YouTube down? Wait, is YouTube still up? Oh my God, I can't even tell if YouTube is still up. What's going on? Okay, hold on. We have the Discord to save me. YouTube chat is broken. Is it just like... Oh, it's back! It's back! I bet if someone would have super chat during that, it would have worked. We're back, baby. Post buff. Buff. Post buff. All right, new Skibbity Toilet episode. Let's see what we got. Aww. Alright, so what do we learn from that? We learned that the Skibbities are going fucking hog wild at attaching a ton of stuff to them. But the camera guys, we got a new friend, baby. We got TV Lady! TV Lady, let's go TV Lady! Woo! TV Lady can one-tap the dumb camera, the dumb Skibbities, and also can carry you when you teleport. They can teleport with people now, which they've never been shown to be able to teleport with people before, so that's big new technology. So yeah, that's pretty good stuff. Look at that. So you can teleport with people. It's looking like there's something going on here. Kind of reminds me of Portal, actually, a little bit. You know what's so compelling about this is that it reminds me of the old Gmod source filmmaker kind of stuff that people would used to make back in the day. Like the old Gary's Mod machinimas. Which is why I like this so much. Even though it's a ridiculous concept, I think it's really cool. Because it just reminds me of all the stuff that I used to watch back in the day. Of all the things that people could be watching right now, I think this is a pretty fun one, to be honest. This is the strangest thing you've shown. Honestly, you need the context of the other episodes. If you haven't seen the other episodes, you should watch our react to it, because I reacted to it yesterday. You should definitely watch the other reacts. All right. I'm gonna sit down now. That was something out of context. Yeah, if you don't have the context, then you're not gonna understand what's going on, you know? All right, I'm gonna watch something that I've been suggested to watch for a long time. A long-ass time. Like Like 6 different people have posted this in the Discord server, which is rare because usually most people only post one video once and then that's it. But like 6 different people are like, you need to see this. Also, chat, keep in mind, maybe Subnoodle plushes soon. I got sent a design for it today. So the design's gonna look different to this one because this is the original Subnoodle plush. And our new one is gonna be new and improved. It'll look a little bit different. I got some of the designs that were sent over. It looks really cool. It looks so cool. I'm so excited. So it's gonna look different to that one. I imagine they're probably gonna send me out like a sample for me to show off to use. You sure it's not Pangoro? What the fuck is Pangoro? Sorry, I don't know what that is. Can you show us? I don't know if I'm allowed to like show it on stream or anything like that. I don't know. I don't know if it's like secret until I don't know. Am I allowed to? Can I be shipped to Iran? Probably. I don't see why not. Oh, you can do it. Okay, Hugh, man. I don't know if that's I don't know if that's true. I can look at it. Okay, I'll show you guys if you promise not to tell anyone. Okay? If you keep your fucking mouth shut and don't snitch. Then I'll show you. Oh, it all actually has like the sizes of it too. It's actually really hard to navigate. I don't know how to navigate this. Oh my god, it's in commenting mode. Panning mode. Okay. Can you keep your fucking mouth shut? Do you promise? Chat, I wouldn't show it for free. Chat, you gotta pay up. I'm not gonna make people pay. But if you want to give me 5 gifties, that'd be awesome. But you don't have to pay. But if you want to give me money, then you can. But you don't have to. But if you want to, that'd be awesome. Bad word alert? Oh no. Alright, oh, hold on, here it is. Wait, where did it go? Okay, I'm gonna open it. Oh, 3, 2, 1, go! Oh, oops. 3, 2, 1, go! Here it is! Look at that! Look at this! Look at him! He's got a big head and everything! I love the big head. I want his head to be bigger than his body. He has a big, doofy noggin. And he's got like fluff all over him. So apparently he's going to be 19.2 centimeters tall. He needs a bigger head. Don't take pictures. And he's going to be 14 centimeters in width from head to head. He feels like he'd fall over. Well, no, he has a sitting part as well, so he wouldn't fall over. Look, he has a massive rump. So that he doesn't fall over. It even shows... Sorry, I didn't show that part because I could only fix so much in the screenshot. But there's also a sitting variation. They even have like an example of a sitting variation. Amelia, thank you so much. They have this sitting variation. So like he's got a massive dumpy, so you can sit on it as well. But thank you, Amelia, for the gifty. Thank you for giving one to Lucy. Any buffers? Look at that. So he can sit properly. So he has this big head. I assume it works. So they asked me, chat, I want to get your input on this. They asked me if I want the floppy arms, because there might be some issues with doing like the fixed arms, where he's like, so the fixed arms are like this. So they were like, we can do floppy arms. We can try and do fixed arms maybe, but there might be some issues with that. Or they can do floppy arms, which is like more floppy. So I wanted to get your guys' opinions on what do you think is better? The floppy or... I don't know if we can do the fix, but maybe. And then there's the floppy ones. You guys want the floppy? The legs are floppy? Well, I mean, it would be the legs and the arms. They can either both be floppy or both maybe be fixed. I don't know if we can do fixed, but maybe. But they were like, oh, we think we need to do the floppy ones. So yeah, if If it was the floppy arms, you could slap people with it. Yes, you could. That is technically something that you could do in theory. I don't know if you should hit people with it. I don't think it would do that much damage, but again, it is a sub-noodle, which holds all of the power in the universe inside of itself. So just like keep that in mind, all right? It seems like you're all saying floppy. Okay, so we'll do the old flopendo. Apart from Marty. Marty was the singular person to say that firm is better. So it's a weapon. Is it a good self-defense tool? Yeah, it holds all of the power in the universe inside of it. So yes, absolutely it is. Yes. Is there gonna be a rare shiny chance? I don't think that they can do. I can ask them. I keep forgetting to ask them. Can I throw it at people? I mean, if you want to, if you're gonna adopt a noodle, then you can do what you want to it. But like, I don't know if that's a really good idea. The poor guy probably wouldn't like that all that much, you know. I think that they wouldn't dig that all that much. That's illegal. Do not throw your noodles, or the sub-noodle adoption agency will be back. They'll return to take your sub-noodle away from you. Do not throw your noodles. Do not allow a dog to rip up the noodles either, like Dylan did. That traitor. Sub-noodle does not crave violence. Can I place a tracker in my sub-noodle? I mean, you can, but like, what are you gonna do with it? You're gonna put an air tag on it or something like that? Like, what are you gonna do? Okay. It is react-ando time. Don't kick it. Don't do any of that. Be nice to your noodle. Sub-noodle craves violence. Not against it though. It doesn't want violence to be done to it. Okay. All right, here we go. As a British man, Mr. Bean is one of my favorite fictional characters. 1 second. Delicious. So when I saw a video title, Mr. Bean could kill Superman, I was intrigued and a little bit confused. And so many people told me to watch this video. It's another wonderful video by Alex Lennon. Let's get into it.
When Mr. Bean's actor, Rowan Atkinson, was asked if he would ever make a movie titled Superman vs. Mr. Bean, he said no. When asked to elaborate on his answer, Atkinson famously responded, "Superman could kill Mr. Bean very easily." Now, other than the fact that this was a
I don't think Superman would kill Mr. Bean. He's supposed to be like, what, the good guy? Mr. Bean is way too nice to be killed by Superman.
fake post I found on Instagram, and
oh no, it's fake? What? Oh, so he doesn't think that Superman could kill Mr. Bean very easily. What that actually was fake news.
Atkinson never actually said this. It did get me thinking. Superman is pretty much invincible. He can fly, he's got laser vision, he can rebuild the Great Wall of China just by looking at it. But he's
what is one of Superman's most popular abilities? I loved it when he rebuilt the Great Wall of China in every episode of Superman. And in Man of Steel, when he saved the world by making the Wall of China. Just such an amazing moment. Let me put the, let me pin the comment real quick, so telling everyone what we're reacting to. Yeah, fake news media at it again. Can you believe it? There we go.
Basically a god compared to Mr. Bean, this weird little old man who is so lazy he'd rather shoot his own light bulb than get out of bed to turn it off.
How did he get a gun?
The reason Mr. Bean works so well is that the comedy is very physical, there's barely any language involved, so everyone from around the world can come together and laugh at him.
Man, I used to love this show, and also, additionally, to a slightly lesser extent, the cartoon variation of the Mr. Bean show, which was also really good.
Incompetent, dim-witted character who gets scared of heights, is very socially awkward, hunts children for sport, you know?
I was gonna say, the first two things I relate to. I was gonna be like, oh man, he's just like me. Then I got to the hunting children. Nope. Never mind.
He's a silly little guy. At least that's what he is on the surface. After extensive analysis of Mr. Bean's behaviour, I've uncovered a dark secret hiding in plain sight. Mr. Bean is not the timid fool we all know and love, but instead a being of godlike power and intelligence. By presenting my findings, I'll be able to scientifically prove that Mr. Bean could in fact kill Superman, even if you give Superman every power under the sun. Shapeshifting, time travel, infinite walls of China. It still wouldn't be enough to even lay a finger on Mr. Bean.
Mr. Bean's godlike abilities,
Throughout his adventures, Mr. Bean completes a variety of near impossible tasks without any prior knowledge or experience.
Doesn't he, like, set spaghetti on fire by accident once?
This man's improvisational skills are off the chart. In the first Mr. Bean movie, he finds himself in a hospital where he's mistaken for this master surgeon in charge of a life-saving operation. Mr. Bean, of course, has no idea what's going on and takes the whole thing as a joke, making goofy faces, supercharging a defibrillator and nearly shocking himself to death, you know, typical Mr. Bean behaviour. However, when it comes to the operation, Mr. Bean performs a miracle from out of nowhere, using his bare hands to complete the surgery by himself without breaking a sweat. This seems highly improbable, but you know what? Everyone gets lucky now and again. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's take a look at a couple more examples.
He passed the luck check. I think Mr. Bean invested all of his skill points into luck. And by investing all of your skill points, I mean taking all the skill points out of every other stat: strength, intelligence, perception, agility. Bring those all down to 1 and put it all in luck. And you know what? Luck builds work.
Back to school, Mr. Bean, he attends a judo class, and as you can see from the colour of their belts, Mr. Bean is a complete rookie, and the instructor is an experienced fighter. Despite this, Mr. Bean still manages to get the upper hand and disposes of his opponent with ease, humiliating the guy in front of his students. Again, this seems pretty
He rolled him up like a karate Rito.
unlikely, but maybe the instructor was having an off day, you know? It happens. I can't remember what the fuck he's doing here, but I'll leave it to your imagination.
What is this?
The most important part, though, is when he gets caught. Mr. Bean masterfully improvises to avoid suspicion and is thus free to continue torturing the poor man on the bathroom floor. Okay, so...
I love the idea that the guy just walked in, saw a man halfway out of a bathroom stall, and saw someone, like, tugging on him, trying to, like, pull him out, and then goes, oh, no. I was cleaning his shoes, actually. Don't mind the fact that he's lying on the floor. I'm just giving him a little bit of spick and span, a little spruce up, actually.
What do all these clips have in common? Well, in each of these scenarios, Mr. Bean is just simply imitating those around him. When he performs the operation, he's just mimicking the actual medical professionals around him. When he's at the judo class, he's mimicking the instructor's moves.
Oh, are we going to say that Mr. Bean has this innate passive buff that allows him to not only blend in with the people that are around him, but harvest and drain all of the skills out of them as well, in the same way that Ben 10 would scan an alien and become the best version of the alien? He can scan the humans around him and become the peak version of what they do. Now that's a cool power.
Albeit in his own twisted way. And when the fine gentleman arrives at the bathroom door, it's clear by looking at him that this man takes no nonsense. He's a man of order. And so Mr. Bean mimics that sense of authority and throws it back at him. One explanation could be that Mr. Bean intensely studies those around him, and he can do so in such a small amount of time that he instantly assumes their skills. This would explain how he's able to succeed in such wild situations. He's just very observant and a fast learner. But that seems like a bit of a stretch. Mr. Bean isn't exactly the most observant person. In fact, half the reason he gets into these situations is because he's so oblivious to his surroundings. He's not a fast learner, he's just an idiot. Another explanation could be that Mr. Bean has the subconscious, supernatural power to absorb the abilities of others.
I think that this is an act that Mr. Bean is putting on, and that actually he is a multi-dimensional entity. There is one in a group of books that I like. There's an author called Brandon Sanderson, and he has one character that kind of jumps between books, jumps between dimensions, and the whole time he's joking, he's telling funny stories, he's acting up a storm. It's a character called Hoyd, and this character, very, very strong, very powerful, jumps between dimensions, but everyone just doesn't take him seriously because he just takes jokes. He goofs all the time. He's a little goofy guy. That's Mr. Bean.
Also known as power stealing. Users can absorb powers from others, usually temporarily, and the victims naturally regain their lost power, but some users may be able to absorb powers permanently, according to powerlisting.fandom.com. Mr. Bean is clearly not aware of this power, but it would explain how he achieves all these miracles. Like I said before, Superman has the power of flight, laser vision, eating 1 billion burgers. Superman gets in the ring with Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean gets all of those powers as well. But once again, this seems a bit far-fetched, and there's no proper evidence that superpowers in the traditional sense exist in Mr. Bean's universe. Plus, there are some instances where this theory wouldn't really work. In The Curse of Mr. Bean loses his swimming trunks in a public pool, and there's no way of getting them back. When the pool closes and everyone is ordered to get out, Mr. Bean panics and hides himself underwater until the lifeguards leave. Fortunately, no one notices him, and he manages to escape the pool. Another victory for Mr. Bean. But look at him. It's fairly fucking obvious that he's right there. Either this lifeguard is
But he has the power of immense camouflage. He can hide in plain sight, and no one will know that he's there.
Completely blind or just really shit at his job. This can't be the case though, as earlier in the same episode, the lifeguard is shown to be very observant and is quick to punish anyone who breaks the rules. Okay, so maybe it's just an inconsistency in the script, sure. but that would be a complete disservice to the writers. As well as playing Mr. Bean, Rowan Atkinson also co-writes for the show, and he's a smart guy. It seems impossible that he would let this sort of thing happen. Okay, so if it's not power stealing or bad writing, then what is it? How is he able to achieve all of these miracles? Well, after
Did he just defibrillate someone with random pliers, metal pliers, like a car jump cable?
going through every episode frame by frame, I've uncovered Mr. Bean's most overpowered ability of all. You see, my theory,
slow down that one,
is just a theory, is that Mr. Bean is able to manipulate probability fields, the metaphysical fields of chance, or luck, harnessing good fortune for himself. This is called psychokinesis. So yes, it is dumb luck, but by his own subconscious design. While this ability itself is still rather outlandish, probability is a real concept in mathematics and physics, so it would make sense in Mr. Bean's universe. Let's say Superman and Mr. Bean are fighting. It doesn't matter where, they could be fucking space for all I care. Using his powers of good fortune, Mr. Bean would just so happen to stumble upon some kryptonite. Maybe it's that pink kryptonite that turns Superman gay. Yes, that did actually.
What? No, there's not pink kryptonite that would turn Superman gay. That doesn't make any sense at all. Why would the pink kryptonite turn him gay? I mean, I wouldn't. Why would they do that? That's so silly. Is there like pictures that I can? Oh, I mean. Oh, okay. I mean, it's like. Oh, sorry, I'm watching. Sorry, reacting to the video.
Whatever the scenario, Mr. Bean would be able to manipulate events in his favor, giving him a significant advantage over Superman. However, Mr. Bean doesn't seem to be in control of his powers. I don't know how the psychokinesis is activated, but it seems to fail just as much as it succeeds, so there's no guarantee that Mr. Bean would come out on top.
It's random chance, like using present in Pokemon, you have an equal and opposite chance to either heal or damage the enemy.
Superman charged himself with solar energy, flew way up in the sky, assembled infinite walls of Chinas around Mr. Bean so he couldn't escape, there'd be a good chance that he would win. Fortunately, the psychokinesis isn't the only trick up Mr. Bean's sleeve. In Tee Off Mr. Bean is doing his laundry and accidentally gets stuck in one of the machines. While he's in there, a woman turns the machine on, Mr. Bean starts spinning around, and we don't see what happens next. Now, this looks like a dryer, but the Mr. Bean channel on YouTube says that it's a washing machine. Maybe in the Mr. Bean universe, people call washing machines dryers, and dryers... We'll consider both options. Could you survive in a washing machine? No. Okay,
no,
so
you drown. You drown.
Be crushed into little pieces by the intense spinning, or your body would fill up with these dangerous chemicals like liquid detergent. Alternatively, if it is a dryer, you'd probably suffer from severe burns and die of asphyxiation. Now, Quora once told me that I could inject my own poo into my veins and still survive, so it's not exactly the most reliable source, but using common sense...
No, that can't be true. What would happen if I injected feces into a vein? Why in the world are you asking this? There are so many questions on Quora about injecting things in the veins. I suggest you get psychiatric help. You might not live long enough for sepsis. It's much more solid. It would be effectively the same as an embolism and kill you on the spot. What a way. Do you think anyone has ever actually died via that? There's no way. God, what a way to go. What a way to shed the mortal coil. To vacate this realm of reality. Because you had feces in your veins.
I think it's safe to say that no human being, or anything really, could survive this without some sort of permanent damage. However, in the very next scene of the same episode, Mr. Bean appears totally fine with no sign of physical or psychological trauma. Okay, so maybe
really good regen.
Aren't in chronological order. Maybe Mr. Bean did actually die and all subsequent episodes take place before that point. It's possible, it could be like a anthology show where all the episodes air out of order, but this argument kind of falls apart when you see that Mr. Bean has physically aged since that episode. Yes, it could be like Better Call Saul, where the actor's age doesn't necessarily reflect the character's age, and you just have to sort of ignore that the actor looks a lot older. But in Better Call Saul, they still make an effort to use older technology and references to that time period. Mr. Bean, on the other hand, has interacted with newer technology, and it's kind of obvious that years, if not decades, have passed since that fateful laundry outing. And so for Mr. Bean...
This is so much time to put into can Mr. Bean survive a washing machine? This is such a funny video.
To have survived this, his body would need to be way more durable than the average human. He would have to have invulnerability, or near enough. What's more, he would also need the ability to breathe underwater and have the resistance to heat, which I guess would come under the immortality. However, we don't...
That's some like pretty easy passive buffs though. Like you don't really have to invest a whole lot of skill points into those trees to get those buffs. So I would say that you can get them pretty easily, especially during the level that he is. I would imagine that Mr. Bean is probably, I would say, at least level 70, maybe 75, 80.
I don't know for sure how far this durability goes. His body may be durable, sure, but not unbreakable. With enough time and patience, Superman could possibly beat him. But this video's title, assuming I haven't changed it, is Mr. Bean could kill Superman. This is a fight to the death. And while Superman has killed in the comics and movies before, not counting Injustice, it's usually because he had no other choice and the victim was this super evil monster about to destroy the Earth or some shit. But Mr. Bean is just a little man, and Superman's a good guy. Having power is one thing, but having the balls to use it is another. Superman has the strength to disembowel a man in a matter of nanoseconds, but he chooses not to because he's morally inclined to do so. He values human life and will only take it if absolutely necessary. Mr. Bean, on the other hand...
Mr. Bean is a complete psychopath.
Look what he does in his spare time. What the fuck is this? Do you think this man values human life? Mr. Bean doesn't understand how people work, nor does he want to. He's perfectly content.
I don't think Mr. Bean has much empathy for other humans. He's never really shown in the show to truly care about the well-being, happiness, and safety of others. So I think that, given the option, Mr. Bean would probably kill someone.
In his own little life, getting up to his own little weird adventures. This does, however, lead to a lot of antisocial behaviour on his part, ranging from the awkward encounters to the straight-up crimes against humanity. In Mind the Baby, Mr. Bean is tasked with minding a baby after he accidentally kidnaps it from its mother. But Mr. Bean wanted to have fun at the fair, and he can't do both at the same time, right? No, which is why he leaves the baby unattended while he goes and has fun on a roller coaster. When the ride's about...
Oh yeah, I mean, listen, he's in the Royal Mail car, that's fine. As long as he doesn't get out, it'll be fine. And if he gets out, then it's the baby's fault. The baby shouldn't have gotten out if it didn't want to be hurt.
To start, he prevents a man from getting on, and smiles about it afterwards, because Mr. Bean takes joy in others' suffering. What's more, he displays no emotion whatsoever during the ride and falls asleep. Eventually the baby's returned to its mother, no thanks to Psycho McGee over here. One could say that he didn't mean to kidnap this child, he tried his best to look after it. Which would be plausible if he didn't-
tried his best to look after it after attaching it to a car and driving around haphazardly and then just depositing it in the nearest Royal Mail minivan.
The exact same thing in the second Mr. Bean movie. He's clearly got a knack for this. Compare this to the time when Superman was also tasked with minding a baby after accidentally kidnapping it. Yes, believe it or not, there are just so many fucking Superman comics that for every scenario Mr. Bean's in, Superman has also been in that exact same situation like 5 times. Superman takes this child, who just so happens to be a telepathic alien, and vows to keep it safe no matter what. He tries to cheer it up, he sings it a lullaby to calm it down, and takes it to a church so that it can get the proper care that it needs. Even when he's delivered the child to the right people, Superman still promises...
Wait, he gave it to a church? Won't they just think it's like a demon? Dude, it's a telepathic alien child. If it starts doing telepathy in front of the nuns, they're like, uh-oh, exorcism time.
Says to come back and check on it just in case. When some alien warlord with a glowing nipple shows up looking for the child, Superman fights tooth and nail to protect it, flying the warlord way up into the sky and throwing him into the depths of space. It's a rather heartwarming story. Okay, key things to note, and you should really be writing this down. Superman will go to great lengths and put himself in danger for the safety of a child, and Mr. Bean kidnaps children and will actively neglect them for his own personal gain. Things get way darker in the episode Goodnight, Mr. Bean. The title being rather symbolic, as we're now saying goodnight to the last shred of humanity he had left. Mr. Bean is in the queue for the hospital, but he's bored, and so to speed up the wait, he comes up with some psychotic ideas. First, he throws away a child's teddy bear so that they lose their place in the queue. Not the worst thing, we've all done it at one point or another, but perhaps the worst of-
Wait, we've all done it. I don't know about you guys, I haven't done that. I'm not against it. I think it's a good tactic that you can use, you know, use your enemy's tactics against them, and when you're in a queue, your enemy is whoever is in front of you. I have done it, I did, I've done it, I did, you haven't. Really? You're weird? Oh. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I guess I'm the weird one. I'm sorry. I guess the next time I need to go for a dentist checkup, should I just throw the grandma that's in front of me out of the window so that I get to go first? Or yeah, I guess I should get on that.
Defense is when he fucking assaults a man, blames it on the guy next to him, which causes a fight between the two men. Also, he could move up one space in the queue. Fortunately, when he gets near the front of the queue, the lady in front is already leaving, and thank God, because from the look on his face, I don't know what the fuck he was about to do to her.
He was prepared to just go and just like snap the old lady's neck.
Mr. Bean gets a ticket with the number representing his place in the second queue.
I remember this episode too.
He sees that an elderly man is about to take the last seat, so he of course takes advantage of the man's disability and takes the seat for himself. He then notices the person next to him covered in bandages. This person has 2 broken legs, at least 1 broken arm, a broken neck. We don't know what's under these bandages.
It's like that character from SpongeBob that falls asleep by breaking both their arms.
But they could be a burn victim, they could have no skin. Either way, their life is painfully shit. And so of course, Mr. Bean takes the absolute piss out of them. He laughs at them, he quite literally flexes on them, saying, hey, I can use my neck, I can use my legs.
This is insane.
Fucked. Once again, Mr.
I forgot how insane this is. He looks at someone completely battered and unable to move and just starts laughing at them.
Bean derives joy from others' misery. He then notices that the bandaged person is a full 24 places ahead of him in the queue, and so he swaps their tickets knowing full well they can't do anything about it. And to add insult to a already staggering number of injuries, Mr. Bean sees the kid next to him's ticket and adds a 0 on the end so that the kid will miss their turn. Now this kid's number is already higher than Mr. Bean's. Mr. Bean has absolutely...
It doesn't matter, the kid can't see the number anyway! He's got a fucking pad on his head! He can't even see the number! How would he even know when he's supposed to go anyway?
Nothing to gain from this. On the YouTube video I was watching this scene on, the woman calls out number 23 at exactly 2 minutes and 43 seconds. She then calls out number 24 at 4 minutes and 11 seconds. That's 1 minute and 28 seconds for every number that is called. For simplicity's sake, let's call that 88 seconds. Now if we do a bit of mathematique, the kid's new number is 850. 850 take away 24 is 8...
I love Mr. Bean maths, that's great.
826. That's 826 places to wait in the queue. So that's 826 places, times by 88 seconds, account for the time dilation caused by the sheer gravity of Mr. Bean's balls. That's equal to 76,322.4 seconds. Mr. Bean has doomed this child to waiting 21 hours in the queue for no fucking reason. See that sign over there? Radiotherapy. These are people who need proper medical assistance, and Mr. Bean is preventing them from getting it. And for what? For fun. He's a menace. He's a threat to public health. A complete contrast to Superman.
Dude, that's kind of based though. That's kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's bad, and you shouldn't do that. But like, come on, it's kind of funny though.
He frequently inconveniences his own life to help other people. Look no further than All-Star Superman by Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely. You might have heard of it. It's not like it's one of the greatest Superman stories ever told. One of my favourite panels is from issue 10, where Superman volunteers to fly a bunch of hospital kids on a tour around the world, just to make their day a little bit better. This is just one of many examples in that one story.
But wait, that doesn't really seem like a good idea, because if you pick up a bus and fly it at the same speed over the ocean as like a jet engine would be going, I don't think the bus has the structural integrity to handle that. In fact, I think the bus would crumple and everyone would die.
In which he brightens people's days just for the sake of it. The last thing I want to touch on is, how would I put this? Mr. Bean's thirst for blood. Now, most of us have probably experienced having a mouse or a rat in our homes that we have to get rid of. You or I would probably spray like those scent things that gets rid of them, wait for the cat to get it, or if need be, use a mousetrap. What you typically wouldn't do is wait for Christmas Day to roll around, give the mouse its own little stocking with a little bit of cheese in it, and then use that generous gift as a ploy to smash its fucking brains in. Why go to the effort of having the custom-made stocking? The mouse doesn't give a shit. It's gonna meet its maker regardless. Clearly he gets off on this sadistic creativity. So Mr. Bean likes to kill animals. You know what's worse than animals?
That's so funny, dude. You got a fucking stocking. Wow, I forgot how good Mr. Bean actually was.
Children. Mr. Bean is trying to use one of these coin machines, the one where you put the coins on the I don't fucking know how it works. But he keeps losing, so he takes the frustration out on a little kid next to him by suffocating him and throwing him to his death. Now there are two...
Okay, I don't think the kid's dead. That's really funny, though. Some snot-nosed brat comes up and starts winning at a game in front of you, you're just like, yeah, fuck you, kid.
Main things we can take away from this whole section here. Number 1, Mr. Bean will cross the line that others won't. This means
okay, I've decided that Mr. Bean is what happens when you give in to every single intrusive thought that you've had. Every single thought that's like, oh, I could do this right now. Like, oh yeah, I could like pull the hood over and then pull it back over his head so he can't see anything and push him on the ground. I could do that, but I'm not going to because I'm a normal functioning member of society. I could add a 0 to the small child's doctor's number so that he has to wait 21 hours, but I'm not going to because I'm a normal human being. But what happens when you give in to every intrusive thought?
that he can achieve his goals much more efficiently, even if it has to put others in harm's way.
So I would say that Mr. Bean is the most pure, unadulterated, uncensored version of humanity. He is humanity in its most pure form.
Children, hospital patients, doesn't matter who dies as long as he gets what he wants. This gives him a tactical advantage over Superman, who actually values people's lives and will go out of his way to rescue them. And number 2, it would appear that for every time Mr. Bean makes someone suffer, he grows more confident in his abilities. Therefore, you could say that Mr. Bean draws power from the pain that he causes. Okay, so we've got each side's abilities, we've examined their personalities, so we know how they use said abilities. We got a pretty good idea of how this fight is going to go. Okay, so where would this fight take place? It can't take place in Metropolis, because otherwise Superman would have home court advantage. He knows his way around. Same goes for Mr. Bean in London. We could put them both in a nameless arena, or a big field, or a big empty space, but that'd be kind of boring, and it would give me less to work with. So
no, put them in Stoke-on-Trent. Number 1 reason is, it is a British city, but it's not one that Mr. Bean is in. Also, it's already kind of a wasteland, so it doesn't matter if the battle lays waste to the surrounding area, because it already is a wasteland.
To make it completely fair, let's just choose a random place that neither of them are familiar with. New Jersey, fuck no. Brazil, fuck it. Sure, they're fighting in Brazil.
Why did Mr. Bean go to Brazil?
Okay, so Mr. Bean and Superman are in Brazil. They're about to fight. They don't get any fucking prep time, alright? Sorry, but prep time only really applies to Batman and Kevin McAllister. No, this fight will be purely on instinct. Boom, boom, go fight, see what happens. None of that prep time, alright? I don't make the rules. We've got the fight set up, but there's one important thing that we're missing. Motivation. Superman's not going to start lasering Mr. Bean's face off for no reason. He's going to need some justification for attacking him.
You could make him bloodlusted. That's a very popular thing in the who would win community is, okay, well, usually you have a normal fight, but if you have a bloodlusted fight, it's because the characters immediately need to kill each other. They have to kill each other. They don't want to do anything else except kill each other. The thing that they want to do most in the world is do murder on that particular person.
And like I said before, Mr. Bean's happy in his own little life, so he probably finds Superman boring. They need someone to fight for, someone or something that they care about. For Superman, that's easy. He'll fight for his friends, his family, the whole planet. You know, if Mr. Bean's doing something to endanger people, and as we've established, he does that all the time, then Superman will take action. But what does Mr. Bean, the unfeeling maniac who will suffocate children and deprive cancer patients of their treatment, what does a man like that care about? Despite being a complete psychopath, there are two main things in Mr. Bean's life that he has ever shown the slightest bit of emotion towards. One is his car, as when it gets annihilated by a tank, Mr. Bean is shown to be deeply troubled by its death and on the verge of tears.
Fun fact, this was actually the closest humanity ever got to being completely wiped out by Mr. Bean's unbridled rage. He managed to keep it dormant and hidden, but if it was unleashed, the planet Earth would immediately disintegrate.
Second thing is Teddy. Mr. Bean and Teddy are inseparable. They're best friends. Soulmates even. Teddy is the only constant in his life who he genuinely cares for. One could argue that he also cares about his girlfriend, Irma, but looking back on it, the relationship is very one-sided and Mr. Bean spends half the time either terrorizing her or being overly possessive, so we'll leave her out of the equation for now. You could also say that he cares about the family that he stays with in the first movie, and while he does seem to like spending time with them, it's probably just a front to get a roof over his head. Anyways, Mr. Bean will do anything for Teddy, prioritizing his safety over actual humans.
Hey, you guys didn't know that Mr. Bean had a girlfriend? That's like deep, I mean, it's not really deep Mr. Bean lore, but it's definitely in the Mr. Bean lore.
Mr. Bean once went on a rampage, putting dozens of...
Yes, chat, that means that Mr. Bean has more Riz than you do, and also myself.
...innocent civilians at risk, just so Teddy could get a slightly comfier armchair. When he's about to put Teddy in the washing machine, he gives him a straw to breathe so that he doesn't drown. On Christmas Day, he gives Teddy a brand new set of eyes. This is far more care than he ever gave his poor girlfriend, by the way. If something were to happen...
Well, I'm sure that if the worst were to actually occur, that Mr. Bean would also buy her a new set of eyes. They wouldn't work because they'd be buttons, but they'd still have them.
To Teddy, Mr. Bean would do everything in his power to rescue him. Another thing to note is that despite all of Mr. Bean's efforts, Teddy still manages to suffer an overwhelming amount of injuries. Either he's drowned in paint, torn in half, decapitated, whatever it is, he seems to take after Mr. Bean in that he'll always appear totally unharmed in the next scene. Given the severity of his injuries, Teddy must have some sort of healing factor, similar to Wolverine, and therefore can't be killed. Now that we've examined Mr. Bean's best friend, it's
Teddy has a healing factor.
Only fair that we do the same for Superman. His best friend is arguably Jimmy Olsen, a photographer for the Daily.
Oh, he's a ginger with blue eyes and freckles and a bit of a nerd. Am I Superman's best friend?
Planet. He looks up to Superman as a role model and a parent figure, and he's even got this special watch that will send a high-pitched frequency that only Superman can hear if he ever needs his help.
And the local
Every
dogs?
time the DC universe is destroyed and rebooted, Superman and Jimmy
Why does it say Suicide Watch?
always find their way back together. It's like they were destined to become best friends. Like Mr. Bean with Teddy, Superman really cares for Jimmy and would do anything to keep him out of harm's way. Except for the time he forced him to marry a gorilla and stopped him getting adopted, and then adopted Jimmy himself only to make his life hell.
What? Confess, you killed Clark Kent, Jimmy! I found these clothes in the sea, now what did you do with his body? Wait, what do you mean? He is Clark Kent. What?
Superman knows I'm guilty. I'll have to kill him too
With a special gamma weapon? What?
Hell, Jimmy, this gift you got me for Father's Day makes me sorry I ever adopted you as my son. I'll have to destroy it to teach you a lesson.
Dude, that's... He got him a dressing gown with a Superman logo on it, which is a really cool, thoughtful gift. And he says, it makes me sorry I adopted you. I'll have to destroy it in front of you to teach you a lesson. That's so funny.
But Superman, I mean, Dad, what did I ever do wrong? Superman, stop this crazy test. Let us share that water or we'll die. Sorry, Jimmy. The ground rules only allow one survivor. You or Aquaman. Superman, an unknown enemy has materialized these former identities of mine and is now working a ghastly change on me. Save me. I can't, Jimmy. You're being punished by some super race for a crime against their world. What the fuck? Okay, apart from all that.
This is the worst dad of all time. Mr. Bean is a better dad to Teddy than Jimmy or Superman is to Jimmy.
Superman does actually care about him. And you know what? Jimmy can be a bit of a dick too, sometimes.
That was my origin story.
He's thrown the odd insult. He's faked being in a coma to learn Superman's secret identity. He's led a regiment of alien soldiers with toy guns into a suicide charge against Superman's wishes. Jimmy, you rat! You've revealed my Clark Kent identity to these criminals for money! Now they've chained me with kryptonite! Why did you betray me?
Wait, is that his actual dialogue? That is the worst written dialogue I've ever heard in my life.
I don't know. And like Teddy, Jimmy has also demonstrated his fair share of powers. Over the years, he's demonstrated the following abilities: super speed, super intelligence, breathing fire, turning into a gorilla, turning into a woman, becoming a genie, becoming a hippie, becoming morbidly obese, yes, that's actually listed as one of his powers, monstrous beard growth, and giant turtle man. And
oh my god! Wait, I want to learn those last two.
Give the participants equal motivation to fight, each of their best friends will be trapped in an unbreakable cage. If Superman loses, Jimmy Olsen will be shot in the head. If Mr. Bean loses, Teddy will also be shot, but with an adamantium bullet. What's more, there won't be any moral quandaries either. Teddy's death wouldn't conflict with Superman's morals, because to him, Teddy's just an inanimate object. And Mr. Bean wouldn't care about Jimmy either way, because, well, he's a fucking psycho. Okay, that's it. Time for the fight. Time to use all of the knowledge we've gathered thus far, all the rules we've established. Finally, we can see how on earth Mr. Bean would beat Superman.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. In Brazil, we're in Brazil, baby! It's Brazil time! Let's go, I'm ready for this. This is gonna be sick.
Forgot something. Kind of important.
What? Okay.
Changes everything.
What? Mr. Bean is an alien from outer space. Oh, how could you forget that? Of course Mr. Bean's an alien from outer space. What do you mean?
I don't know how we didn't see this coming. It's in the fucking title sequence. Every episode of Mr. Bean opens with this little segment. There's this swelling, sort of grand choir music playing as the titles roll, and it creates this ominous, almost angelic-like atmosphere which is quite far removed from the tone of...
That's why he doesn't understand anything. That's why he doesn't speak. He doesn't know the language. That's why he doesn't understand how humans interact. Because he's an alien.
The actual show. But for the longest time, it was just a weird opening. It wasn't meant to be taken literally. He probably just fell out a window or off a roof, or maybe they're going for a religious angle.
That's a UFO.
Whatever the interpretation, there was never any elaboration on what this opening actually meant.
It's a UFO.
Until... Now, so far I haven't mentioned the animated series. It's basically the same sort of thing as the live action stuff, with Rowan Atkinson providing the voice for Mr. Bean. While I don't think the animation really quite captures the magic of Atkinson's physical performance, the series is still quite iconic in its own right, and there are a number of really good episodes which expand on the Mr. Bean lore, if you will. In the episode Double Trouble, Mr. Bean is confused when he finds a car identical to his own. He writes it off as a coincidence until he sees the car's owner, another Mr. Bean. After convincing himself that he's not having another psychotic episode, Mr. Bean pursues his doppelganger in an intense, action-filled car chase. When he finally catches up with him, the other Mr. Bean is equally as confused. They have the same handkerchief, the same hair comb, the same underwear. The only major difference is that this other Mr. Bean doesn't have a teddy, but instead a toy penguin. And it turns out that his name isn't Mr. Bean. Instead, Mr. Pod. Mr. Bean and Mr. Pod become best
Bean Pod. Very cute.
friends, and they go to Mr. Bean's house together. However, Mr. Bean...
do you think that Mr. Bean and Mr. So there's one girl, so they're both with the one guy.
Is not very pleased when Mr. Pod tries to steal his girlfriend. Pod takes her away in his car and takes...
Why steal when you can share?
her to a field where there's just a fucking UFO just sitting there. We then see that the spacecraft is filled with dozens of creatures who also look like Mr. Bean. Having chased Irma and Pod to the field, Mr. Bean does not seem fazed by the fact that there are alien clones of him and is perfectly happy just ditching his life to go fly away in their spaceship. Before they take flight, however, the Mr. Bean clones kick him out of the spaceship, mirroring the live-action opening titles while playing the same angelic music.
He must be in exile, like Napoleon Bonaparte from the years of old. Mr. Bean is probably a powerful military conqueror that was exiled for crimes against humanity. Or I guess not humanity, more like beananity. Beananity. And then was exiled to Earth to live out their sentence.
If we treat the animated series as canon to the live-action series, it does raise a number of questions. As established in the episode, these Mr. Bean clones freely roam around the same places as Mr. Bean does. So how do we know that all these live-action appearances are in fact the real Mr. Bean? And is there even such thing as a real Mr. Bean? Sure, they might have different names, but they're identical to one another. They behave the same, they drive the same...
He broke the Beaniva convention. That's a really good. That's good.
car, they more or less have the same possessions. If we say Mr. Bean versus Superman, is it just one of them or all of them? If one Mr. Bean dies, could we replace him with another one? Technically that wouldn't be him, but spiritually it would. Because
I think there's a term in like who would fightology when you take characters and put them against each other called a composite version of a character, which is essentially every version of that character in one. So they can use every ability that any one of their individual characters can use. If one Mr. Bean can do a backflip and another Mr. Bean can do a front flip, you put the composite version together, they can backflip and front flip at the same time. So we have composite Mr. Bean versus composite Superman is what we have to do here, right?
We don't even know who's the original. Sure, we can tell the difference based on what toy he has. If he has Teddy, then he's our guy, right? But Teddy's not in every episode of the live-action series. In fact, he's only in a rare few. So who's to say that this guy is the main Mr. Bean? Half the episodes could be following Mr. Pod, and we wouldn't know it. In this shot, I count 16 Mr. Beans. That we know about. Where do these guys come from? Is there some sort of alien factory chugging them out every second? Producing Mr. Beans endlessly? Is there a planet filled with these Mr. Bean clones living peacefully on the other side of the universe in harmony? Depending on where these guys come from, there could be infinite Mr. Beans. And so, in a sense, Mr. Bean can never die. A self-sustaining...
I think that we are all part of a super advanced human race galaxy that we are just not a part of. Like in Warhammer 40k, there are planets of humans that are detached from the Imperium, which is the main human empire. They are completely detached. They don't know about the Imperium, but the Imperium is super advanced. They have a lot of technology. They can kill things, etc., etc. What if the Mr. Bean planet is the true human race? The space-age human race that went out into the galaxy and populated everything. Whereas Earth was simply a breeding ground, a place to put a little bit of human species to see what would happen if they were just left in a vacuum. And we're being monitored by the advanced human race that is out there in the galaxy. And now that I've said that, I might get sniped at any point for releasing too much information. Now we're getting into conspiracy theories, but I think that would be a really cool thing if that was true.
Cycle of incompetency, sociopathic behavior, and infinite armchair vehicular killing machines. Superman may be physically invulnerable, but conceptually, far from it. He's just one man, and men can be beaten. But Mr. Bean is more than just a man. He's an idea. And you can't kill an idea.
You can't kill ideology. You can kill an idea if you murder everyone that knows the idea. Therefore, the information is no longer available. But then, people will eventually come to that same conclusion again.
Hello to the people who've just skipped to this point in the video. I guess the chapter titles are there for a reason, but fuck yourself.
I would never skip. True, I would never skip.
Two beings
I don't even
of
skip
ungodly
sponsors.
power prepare to fight to the...
It's battle time. And for some reason, Superman and Mr. Bean have already lost their legs.
Death. Only one will survive. Teddy and Jimmy are placed within eyeshot of the fight, trapped in their unbreakable cage. Their lives hang in the balance.
Imagine being Jimmy in that cage and having the same worth as an inanimate teddy bear.
3, 2,
Oh,
1.
It's about to begin. Here we go.
Stop, says Superman. Now, as we've established, Superman will only kill if absolutely necessary, and so he wants to find another way. Listen, I know I might look like some unfeeling god who thinks they're above everyone, but I was raised here on Earth just like you. I know we're both in the same boat right now, so if we can get to understand one another, maybe we can work together and put a stop to whoever's behind this. Unfortunately, Mr. Bean is oblivious to Superman's words and is more just confused as to how he got here. By now, a reasonably large crowd has built up. Onlookers are curious as to why these two godly beings are fighting in Brazil of all places.
These two
Mr.
godly
Bean begins
beings.
to feel intimidated by the crowd and starts to panic. Unsure what Mr. Bean will do if he loses control, Superman spawns in a Great Wall of China, blocking the crowd's view. Meanwhile, an escape is attempted. While Teddy has accepted his fate, Jimmy is determined to break his way out. If there's anything Superman has taught him, it's that you can always find a way.
What?
Nothing. The cage is fireproof. But
Jimmy has fire mouth? Was that one of the old abilities? I guess
he
it
doesn't
was.
give up that easily, and he's got plenty of other powers. Naturally, he activates his powers of extreme obesity. No luck. Not only has this attempt failed, Jimmy now can't seem to turn back, and is stuck with his face pressed up against the cage. The seismic waves caused by the Wall of China has significantly weakened nearby surfaces, and the increased weight in the cage has caused the ground underneath to crumble. Suddenly, the cage falls down into the sewer below, flipping it upside down and covering it in a mountain of rubble. Not
God's
good.
sake, Jimmy.
Back to Superman and Mr. Bean. Or should I say...
Teddy would never do something as stupid as that. Teddy just wanted to sit tight and let things play out, but Jimmy had to jump into action like he was some kind of superhero himself.
Superman, because Mr. Bean is now missing. Superman scans his surroundings for any sign of his opponent, but to no avail. That's weird, he's not picking up on anything with his super hearing, nor does he— Superman falls down, clutching his chest in agony. You see, while Mr. Bean was underwater, he stumbled across some kryptonite and used it to fashion a makeshift spear. Pair this with Mr. Bean's sporadic, violent outbursts, and you've got yourself a Kryptonian killing machine. Significantly weakened, it appears Superman is done for. But he feels strange. It's not just the pain, it's something he's never felt before. It's almost like he—
Hey, are you alright down there?
A concerned Brazilian citizen has spotted Jimmy's leg poking out from the rubble.
Hey, I think there's a guy stuck in the sewer!
Most people are still focused on the Superman and Mr. Bean fight, but a small, curious crowd has built up around the hole. Some people start taking pictures and sharing them around on social
Just like my mother died LeMayo. That's awesome.
media.
What are you doing? Can't you see this man needs help?
He's probably dead anyway. Yeah, let's have fun, man. Hey, did you hear about that space fish? The what? There's this new species of fish that swims around space. I saw it on Nat Geographic. How is this relevant? Just then, a man steps forward.
Hey, my name is Matteo. I live just across the road from here with my beautiful wife and 2 kids.
What the fuck is
Everyone
going
get
on?
out of the way.
What is going
That
on?
man needs my help.
Mateo's
is
plan
happening?
is simple. He will lower himself down the hole, clear the rubble, and use a rope to haul them back up. It's foolproof. Mateo's wife tries to stop him, asking him to think of the kids. If something happens to him while he's in the sewer, his children will grow up without a father.
Oh no, I have loved you for 25 years, but not once in those 25 years have I ever backed down from doing the right thing.
The clock is ticking. While Teddy is immune to all damage, Jimmy does not have such a luxury. All of the blood rushing to his head has caused severe intracranial pressure, and in 20 minutes he will be dead. And so
Jimmy really is the L sidekick in this situation, isn't he?
Mateo is lowered into the sewer, armed with only a rope and his pride.
Okay, I have no idea. Who the fuck is Mateo? Like, what am I missing out here? Chat is going crazy for this guy, Mateo. Who is this? Who is this? I need the lore update. Give me the skinny. What's the lore update? Who is this person? What do I need to look up to figure out more about this guy? What's going on? That's what I'm wondering. Mateo W. I don't know what that means. He's a German. What's the context? I don't know what this means. What's the guy from? Mateo French? Who is this guy? He's just a guy? I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Is he in the comics? Original character? He's just there? He's an original character? Is he originally an original character? He's just a guy? Okay, I just spent a little bit trying to figure out who Mateo was because I had no idea. I guess this is just some Brazilian guy. Like, it really is just a guy.
Don't you worry, my friend. I'm gonna get you out of there.
Thanks to all of the photos on social media, the mysterious leg in the sewer has become an international news story, attracting the attention of people all across the world, including the Brazilian government. You see, back in 2017...
Oh, Jesus Christ, not the Brazilian government. Not Bolsonaro.
The government had closed off a number of
Not that he's the president anymore, but when he was the president, that wouldn't be a good situation.
Sewers in the city, as most of the sewage had been rerouted to a brand new treatment plant. This treatment plant was called Erecio Verde, which literally translates to the green boner. This is true, look it up. But since then, they've been using the empty sewers to store various government projects, including nuclear weapons.
What?
The government decides that they can't risk the Brazilian public finding out about these weapons, and so they dispatch a spy to shut down the rescue attempt. Meanwhile, back to whatever Superman and Mr. Bean are doing.
What is
Mr.
going
Bean
on?
has got bored of the fight and is now rampaging through the city on his trusty armchair vehicle. Superman,
get that?
still recovering from his wound, chases Mr. Bean through the city as various civilians are mowed down. Superman stops to make sure every civilian is okay, but this gives Mr. Bean a massive advantage. For every civilian Superman checks on, another 5 more are run down. That's it, Superman has had enough. It's clear that Mr. Bean has no regard for human life, and all that matters now is taking him out. Superman races forward, grabs Mr. Bean and throws him into the depths of space, but Mr. Bean activates his psychokinesis and bounces off a conveniently positioned rock orbiting Earth, hurtling back towards Superman. The two spin around, fighting to the death, but there it is again. That's
Also, keep in mind, Mr. Bean does not actually need to breathe. As we saw in the swimming episode, he can last indefinitely underwater without feeling any damage or pressure at all.
strange feeling. It's not pain, it's more closer to jealousy or lust. Wait,
What?
you're not colorblind, are you? Yeah, why? Because I don't think that was green kryptonite. What do you mean?
You're looking fine, man.
Mateo has cleared most of the
So, Superman got stabbed with a pink kryptonite, and now he wants to have sex with Mr.
rubble
Bean.
from
Nice.
on top of the cage, his hands covered in cuts and bruises.
Mateo!
Jimmy has now passed out, but rescue is imminent, as Mateo ties the rope around the top of the cage and tells everyone to pull as hard as they can. Just
the
as
nukes-
they're making some progress, the government spy pulls out a knife and slashes the rope.
What? No! No! Mateo!
Why? Asks Superman. Why are people so keen to see us fight? Is it merely just an extension of one's own anger and insecurity? Does directing one's pain towards a trivial fight between two fictional characters distract oneself from the cruelty and pain of one's own suffering? What? I think the world would
Kiss
be a
him.
much better place if we just learned to be patient with one another. To not jump to the extremities and judgments, and instead realize that most conflict between different groups is specifically engineered to distract us from the real societal problems.
Oh my god, he's describing why culture war is bad.
The two godlike beings float in silence, reflecting on their newfound approach to life. Meanwhile, a second rope is lowered into the sewer. Mateo's
save
wife
Mateo.
goes down after him, trying to break him free, but Mateo refuses. He insists that the main priority is still Jimmy, and tells her to get him out first.
What a legend.
Touched by her husband's selfless act, Anna ties the second rope to the cage, and the crowd pulls once more. It's difficult at first, but
spy-
the group is driven by this sense of resilience and community and defiance against the government, and they pull the damn rope as hard as they can. We're doing it! We're fucking doing it! Can I tell you something?
Yeah, go ahead.
All my life, I've never had a job. I've never had a lot of friends.
Wait, Mr. Bean doesn't speak.
I've always felt like an outsider, a spectator to society, rather than a participant. For a long time I thought I was okay with this, because I was content with who I was. But then I discovered that I belonged to an infinite race of identical beings. I tried to play it off, like I was totally cool with it, but in reality I've never been more terrified. Is everything I am, or ever will be, simply programmed into me? Everything that I thought made me special, made me unique? Does that mean nothing anymore? You know, the aliens were more of a wake-up call, because for all of my life, I've never truly been allowed to be myself. I've always stayed true to who I am, and everyone has laughed at me. My life is nothing but a joke.
Yeah, but you are a bit of a psycho, let's be honest. I mean, you're bullying kids, you're bullying people at theme parks, you're bullying people at doctors. Just being an arse for no reason. Honestly, Mr. Bean, if the true person who is truly who you are, that much of a psycho, should we really let you just be who you are? Should you be true to your inner self, or should you try to change? Well, that is the question.
Even now, I bet my sincerity will be cut off by some clever bit that makes me look like some incompetent fool. Do you know what that does to my sense of self-worth? My sense of identity? I've never lived for other people. I've always put myself first in every situation. But if I'm now starting to doubt myself, if I have no grasp on who I am or why I am, then what is there to live for? What am I to do?
Oh
shit.
There's a fucking space fish from before. Oh god, how's it gonna end? Oh god, is Superman gonna kill Jimmy by accident? The spy is back as well! Mateo! Watch out, Mateo! No! Wait. Oh. No, not the fat man! Oh god. Jesus Christ. He did it! Okay, to be fair, Superman probably doesn't get killed by a nuke though. But Mateo is dead! Mr. Bean versus the multiverse.
Once again,
What?
hello to all the people who skipped to this point. Fuck yourself. Now that we've scientifically proven that Mr. Bean could in fact kill Superman, why stop there? And so I asked my wonderful audience, which other characters could Mr. Bean take in a fight? And so I've handpicked the best answers and we're going to debate them. Okay, let's begin with...
Teddy is fine, that's all that matters. Mate, Teddy just got nuclear bomb explosioned. Teddy is definitely not fine.
Goku. It's a question as old as time. If you claim a certain character to be powerful, there'll always be that one person in the back asking, can they beat Goku though? In case you haven't watched Dragon Ball, Goku is immensely powerful. He's one of the most powerful beings in the multiverse. His power level has reached 150 million, whatever the fuck that means. So how can Mr. Bean...
Hey, he reached 150 million the first time he turned Super Saiyan. After that, they stopped counting the power level because the numbers were getting too high. He's so strong that they stopped using a feature of the show because he's just too strong.
Defeat a being of such indomitable strength. Well, Goku does have a couple weaknesses. First, he's rather naive, so it's quite easy to catch him off guard. He's also got a severe phobia of needles, but this was only really added in the anime and never mentioned in the original manga, so I'm not sure if it counts. What some people overlook, however, is his vulnerability to laxatives. In the episode Goku vs. Sky Dragon, Goku is betrayed by one of his friends, who spikes his food with laxatives. This gives Goku severe stomach problems during one of his battles, and he gets the shit kicked out of him. Funnily enough, in the first Mr. Bean movie, Mr. Bean makes use of laxatives during a heist, spiking a security guard's coffee with a lethal dose of them. If Mr. Bean could just catch Goku off guard,
did he kill him?
Feed him laxatives by any means necessary, then Goku would just shit himself to death. Another victory for the Bean. Wario. Wario is...
No, listen, Goku may be weak to laxatives when he's in his base kid form, but if he went Super Saiyan, he would Super Saiyan the laxatives out of his body through sheer force of will.
Mario's arch nemesis, appearing in lots of different Super Mario games and his own titles as well, such as Wario Land, Wario's Woods, WarioWare Smooth Moves, and Wario Master of Disguise. You might know him from his famous catchphrase, "It's-a me, Wario." But don't let his charming appearance deceive you, for Wario wields superhuman strength.
I think Wario's a strong man. I think he's like really, really, really strong.
And can even cause small earthquakes. He can also charge up his farts, which are so
Nice.
powerful they create a nuclear explosion. What's more, in the game manual for Wario Land 2, Wario states that he is immortal. This is simply
Yes?
because he just doesn't feel like dying. However, Wario's intelligence is not on par with his level of strength, which means he is easily tricked by others. He is easily influenced by money or getting revenge against Mario,
He's a little
so
greedy.
much so that he'll turn a blind eye to common sense and self-preservation. Mr. Bean could just convince Wario that he does want to die, thus removing his immortality, and Wario's rage makes him very oblivious to his surroundings, so Mr. Bean could easily sneak up on him and take him out. Popeye. Popeye's another one of these characters protected by cartoon logic.
Dude,
He eats a
Popeye is
can of spinach
awesome.
and
I
suddenly he's
love
immortal.
Popeye.
He can
Popeye's the reason that I like spinach so much. Dude, he gobbles a can of spinach and gets super strength. That's incredible. Best superpower in the world.
move at near light speed, flying to the moon in like under 2 seconds. It seems
What?
like Mr. Bean has met his match. Unfortunately for Popeye, his weakness comes from the reliance on the very thing that gives him power. Mr. Bean would just have to eat all of the spinach in the world, thus depriving Popeye of his power source. Now,
I don't think that Mr. Bean would do that, though. Mr. Bean does not strike me as a man that enjoys spinach. I think that he would not eat something that he does not enjoy, therefore he would not touch the spinach and allow Popeye to power up to his final form.
don't get me wrong, this is a near impossible task that would take years to accomplish. But as we've seen before, Mr. Bean will go to great lengths to accomplish his goals, and he has the power of luck on his side. After that, Mr. Bean could probably just take him out with a gun. LeBron James.
LeBron?
Okay, so LeBron James is considered one of the greatest basketball players of all time. He's in the top tier of athletes in the world. But the Olympics is a competition consisting of the greatest athletes in the world. Mr. Bean famously won the Olympics in London 2012. LeBron James has never won the Olympics. Mr. Bean wins. Someone
True, that means Mr. Bean is a better athlete than LeBron. That's
said
facts.
the rat from Avengers Endgame. If you're one of the 2 people who haven't seen Avengers Endgame, a random rat steps on the button which releases Ant-Man from the quantum realm, who in turn provides the necessary knowledge for the Avengers to beat Thanos, thus resurrecting half the universe.
Okay, to be fair, that's one of the dumbest fucking plot points I've ever seen in my entire life. The entire reason that any of Endgame ever happens is because a rat accidentally falls on the right button that releases him from the quantum realm. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. And this is a movie about time travel. You can't make a movie about time travel and not be dumb.
But despite the rat indirectly saving trillions of people, Mr. Bean would still eviscerate it without a second thought. Now,
True,
this
he
looks
is a
like a
rat.
common brown rat, or Rattus norvegicus for the taxonomists out there, so there's nothing remotely special about it. And, as shown before, Mr.
Yeah.
Bean takes a
Mr. Beast already has anti-rat feats built in, so clearly this wouldn't be an issue.
particular liking to killing rodents, so he'd likely come up with some twisted saw trap maze for the rat to crawl around. Manny Heffley, for fuck's sake. Manny is the younger brother of
What
the
is
main
that?
character Greg Heffley in the book / actually fucking masterpiece of a movie series, Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Manny
Wait,
is
really?
an annoying
Oh, my brother used to love this series. What the dude? What is with his
little
teeth?
shit, and words cannot describe the collective hatred everyone who knows this series feels towards him. However, like Mr. Bean, Manny also pulls a series of complete miracles from out of nowhere, leading people to believe he's some being of godlike intelligence. Manny
What?
is only 3 years old and yet can build an entire house on his own. He can speak fluent Spanish out of nowhere. He's a genius entrepreneur, but like Manny, Mr. Bean is also a master architect. He's pretty much created his own version of English, which should really be considered its own language at this point. One only needs to watch a single Mr. Bean episode to see that his intelligence is at least equal to Manny's. Also, Manny is a kid, and as we've established before,
True, Mr. Bean does get a passive buff against children. He must be like a 50% damage buff at least.
Mr. Bean is he's quite good
Kid
at defeating
hater.
kids in close combat. Mr. Bean wins, even if he wouldn't actually have fucking won. I just fucking hate Manny so much. Mr. Bean versus 1 billion lions. Now here's the thing.
Dude, a billion lions is a lot of lions, you know what I mean?
Very passionate about any sort of question like this that involves lions. My favorite thing to ask people is, who would win? An infinite number of lions
Okay.
or the sun? The correct answer is the lions.
The lions, obviously.
Because
Yeah.
while the lions would keep burning up in the sun, they will just outlive the sun. They're infinite.
True.
Sun's gonna explode in
Infinite.
5 billion years. Lions have got all the time in the world. Ooh, but wouldn't the hydrogen atoms inside the lions keep fueling the sun so that it keeps getting more powerful and therefore would actually never die? Yeah, but the lions are infinite and would therefore outlive the death of the universe, including the sun.
Eventually, we'll have the heat death of the universe, and the lions will, they're infinity. So there you go.
In fact, the lions would keep going beyond that, illogically existing in the infinite nothingness of the dead universe. Okay, so let's change the question to Mr. Bean versus infinite lions, because that's more interesting. As established, the lions can win against anything, because they're infinite. They're just that fucking awesome. But as we've also established, Mr. Bean is just as infinite as the lions. And so what happens when an unstoppable force...
Well, we don't know that Mr. Bean is infinite. We only know that there are a society of them. A society of Mr. Beans does not mean there is infinite Mr. Beans. A society of ducks does not mean there is infinite ducks. It implies that there is more than one, absolutely, but it does not imply an infinite amount.
It's an immovable object. They surrender. No winner. SCP-3812, oh god, what the fuck is this? SCP is a fictional universe, but not in the traditional sense that it's created by one or a few people, but
I've always wanted to look into SCP because SCP is essentially some weird monsters, and the whole universe is built around government reports about these monsters and like what they can do. There's one that, doesn't move when you look at it. There's some that like send you to another dimension. There's one that like claws out your eyes. There's a lot of different beasts and monsters. I don't know what's going on with this. Maybe I'll look into it one day.
Instead, anyone can add to it. It's a collaborative writing project reporting on creepy phenomena, and because it's written by so many people, the narrative is really just what you choose to believe. In this case, SCP-3812 is a mysterious entity of incalculable power, capable of altering reality. Now, the way that it works, or the way I understand it at least, is that 3812 can transcend stacked universes. To explain what this means, let's take the Mr. Bean show. First we have our universe, the real world in which you're watching this YouTube video. Then we have the Mr. Bean universe. This universe is placed under our own because to us, it's fiction. Our universe controls...
It is a universe created by us, which means we may be a universe created by something else.
The narrative of Mr. Bean's universe. Then let's say Mr. Bean has a show that he likes to watch. That show is a fictional universe within the Mr. Bean universe, so it's placed under it. And then maybe the people in that universe also watch their favorite show, and then it keeps going infinitely and infinitely. But how do we know that our universe is at the top?
True,
sure,
we don't know.
From our point of view, we're real, but from Mr. Bean's point of view, he's real too. So maybe we are a fictional universe that is below another universe, and so on, going infinitely in the other direction.
Oh, and this SCP can transcend all of the stacked universes, which means he just goes directly to the top of all of the universes, and then what, does he devour every single universe below it?
3812 can move between these narratives, bend them to its will, and destroy them.
So this SCP could go into the Mr. Bean universe, a fictional universe that we have created, except since it can go inside the universe, it now becomes a real universe that exists. Even if it's something fictional that we've created, once it is inside of it, it becomes a real thing. That's crazy.
Let's say it's fighting Mr. Bean in his universe. Oh, suddenly Mr. Bean is fiction and 3812 is instantly more powerful. It can then travel up the infinite ladder of stacked universes, so if it's fighting God, then it can just ascend to a narrative higher than God. It's a very broken power and very fucking...
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, let's see fucking Ben 10 fight that bitch, huh? How's Ben 10 gonna fight this thing? Finally, we found something that can kill Ben 10. Everyone's like, oh, Ben 10, no one can beat Ben 10. Well, you get owned because this SCP can just enter our universe where Ben 10 is fictional and delete Ben 10. There you go, Ben 10 is dead. Ben 10 loses, finally, Ben 10 loses.
It's annoying, actually. If you're debating any fight in which it's involved, it can just go up another level, and it wins automatically. It's like that kid in school that, if you were play fighting and you'd hit him with a sword, then he'd say, oh, I have anti-sword armor. If you pour lava on him, then he goes, oh, I have anti-lava armor. And then you just start bashing his fucking skull in. Okay, so how in the flying hell would Mr. Bean beat such a being if it can supposedly surpass all of fiction? Well, that's just it. Its original author stated on Twitter that 3812 is just a piece of fiction, and canonically it's however strong or weak as you want it to be. Because at the end of the day, SCP, like any writing or form of art, is whatever you choose to believe. So let me just add an entry to the SCP wiki. My own character, SCP-081276, that's my birthday. In the description, let's put Mr. Bean. And in abilities, let's write
Mr. Bean
beat SCP-3812. How easy was that? Mr. Bean beats
Wait, oh no, he loses.
Superman and all of these other characters Because I say he can. After an artist puts their art out into the world, it no longer belongs to just them anymore.
That's the entire point of Saitama from One Punch Man as a character. Saitama just becomes as strong as the opponent that he's fighting and just becomes stronger than him. And Saitama exists to be stronger than the person that he is fighting because he is stronger. And that's how the entire One Punch Man universe is supposed to work. He's just stronger than whatever he's fighting because he just becomes stronger than him. That's not how it works. No. That's how it works. That is how it works. All right. And on that note, that was a great video. Mr. Bean can kill Superman. If you want me to react to something, let me know my Discord server. That is how it works. I own you because you're owned. That's why. Because you're owned. He's always stronger from the start. No, he's not always stronger from the start. Miss Saitama, if he was stronger than everything and every character in every multiverse from the beginning, then just one of his normal punches would annihilate the universe. He becomes as strong as he needs to be in the moment to beat whoever he beats. Fucking Ben 10 still solos Goku. Shut up. Ben 10 solos Goku. Shut up. Hey guys, there's a new early access video right now on early access for members of the main channel. If you want to go and watch it, I would recommend you do. It's a cool new video, and I did it with someone that I haven't recorded a video with before. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. See you guys later. Bye. See you.